When you wish upon a star is a phrase used all around the world. It's an idea that we can make anything come true if we so desire it, born from the hopes and optimisms of one man at one company, personified in one particular magical place in Orlando, Florida. Now, everyone's heard of Disney. Whether it's for their incredibly successful international theme parks or their award-winning films, Disney has been an influence one way or another in the lives of most people living today. Ever since the company was founded in 1924, over a century ago now, Disney has made a name for themselves by being the family-friendly, cozy and reliable old friend you can rely on. However, despite all the fame and popularity, Disney holds such a power these days that no other company can compare to, which makes you wonder if perhaps they're truly using it for some greater good of their customers, or if perhaps there's some sort of deeper motivation than what the public may perceive. Now, it's impossible to talk about Disney without acknowledging the fact that they're made up of a bunch of smaller businesses that have made it into the powerhouse of a company that it is today. Out of 2024, there have been over 20 combined acquisitions of smaller companies by Disney, each being paid an average of $8 billion, with some of these companies including Pixar, Marvel, and even Lucasfilms. While $8 billion might sound great to the company and it offers a lot more jobs in an industry that can be quite hard to break into, it might not necessarily benefit the actual products themselves. What I wanted to do more than anything is, I wanted to send a signal to everyone at Disney that this was a new day. They were more open-minded about expansion, in particular about partnerships. That creativity was the most important strategy for the company, and Pixar at that point exemplified original storytelling and quality and creativity at its highest form. Because Disney are essentially buying out the competition, they're essentially tunneling the general audience into consuming only their outputs, which may not seem like a bad idea until you take into consideration that Disney Plus, Disney's streaming service, has driven their subscription fee from £7.99 to £10.99 because of all the new acquisitions, making general day-to-day life a bit more costly. What do you think of a corporation such as Disney owning so many companies and the potential impact they could have on their output?
I think there's a massive issue with conglomerates, namely Disney, possessing so much of the media market through elimination of competition, through purchasing various companies. This ultimately creates a flat market and stifles creativity, as media production becomes a monetary venture, rather than a creation of intelligent and quality products.
Not to mention the fact that film series such as Star Wars, which were previously the passion project of director George Lucas, now must be approved by Disney first, meaning that they get the final say on creative decisions of their product, which had led to a less than stellar response to recent franchise outgoings. Have you actually sensed any differences in a product before and after a Disney acquisition?
Yeah, I have noticed the differences between products acquired by Disney before and after the transition of ownership, mainly production value and output. These could be seen as benefits allowed by Disney's extensive budget and industry connections. However, they massively increased output of products under the Disney umbrella, potentially causing quality issues. Churning out several large budget productions a year take a massive hit on standards that fans have grown to expect from a product.
The issue of acquisition have only been a modern problem, but that doesn't mean Disney has a completely clean history. One of the more major controversies that stems from this is the fact that the founder, Walt Disney, may be a possible anti-Semite. Whilst there isn't any definitive evidence, there are multiple suspicious behaviour done in the past, such as the animated Three Little Pigs film, in which a peddler is seen acting out a Jewish stereotype in his appearance, as well as Disney personally welcoming a Nazi director, Lenny Reinsfeld, into his studios. All of this can be left up to the interpretation. However, there are some representations of Middle Eastern people in Aladdin that Disney have even recognised to be wrong, and therefore have issued apologies on Disney+. It's all well and good if somebody claimed are merely theories or speculation, but when Disney themselves are having to apologise for the past bigotry or stereotyping, it only makes things from their history a bit more questionable. What's your opinion on corporations who have potential controversial history, and do you think they're actually able to properly change?
Companies with a massive history of controversy surrounding racism or other issues are a massive problem in the media landscape. Often these issues occur at the highest level of industry and filter all the way through the different sectors and can pollute entire companies. Unfortunately, due to the power held by those at the head of the company, these tainted values are sometimes hard to remove, but not impossible. The modern public places an enormous value on holding companies that act in a harmful way accountable, which somewhat forces them to change for the better, otherwise leaving them at risk of complete collapse.
So, is Disney the money and power hungry company I deem it to be? Well, I think the answer lies between where you yourself view companies, because there's so many these days. Disney is just one massive example, but all these other ones out there that we consume and feed into, all their films and franchises, all these messages we're being fed, and most people still don't know what they're being told or what those messages are. It's quite scary these days to be told so many things at once by so many powerful people, and yet the majority of the public don't even know what they're being told. So, whilst Disney may be an offender, and they have many resources and powers to do so and tell their messages of their own, I do believe there is some sort of layer of responsibility put on us consumers to know what we're taking in and to maybe better ourselves as a result of that.